What was life like 4.7 million years ago? Humans have existed for about 300,000 years. However, evidence suggests that human-like primates have been around for 6 million years. That means that at some point over the past 6 million years, we had to evolve from a small group of primates into modern humans with a relatively large population. So what was life like 4.7 million years ago? More importantly, how did prehistoric humans survive all those years ago? And what can we learn from them today? Hi, it's me and you're watching this channel. Join me today as we look back for 0.7 million years to find out just how humans managed to survive. In order to answer our question, let's first take a look at what sort of world these early humans would have inhabited. The climate would have been quite different to how we know it today. The ice sheets would have covered much of North America and Europe, while the rest of the world would have been mostly swampland. At this point in history, the continents were still drifting apart. As a result, the land masses we know today as Africa, Europe and Asia were all joined together in one giant continent known as Eurasia. The flora and fauna would have been very different to what we see today. Fossil records show that. Some creatures we recognize today, such as crocodiles, sharks, birds, horses and primates would have been around. But other creatures would have been extinct, such as dinosaurs. Some new species would have also evolved. For example, the first known member of the great ape family to use tools is a species called Ornithogenensis, which lived in Africa between 6 and 4.5 million years ago. This makes Orin the earliest known relative of humans and chimpanzees. As for our direct ancestor, Australopithecus afarensis, they would have lived in what is now Eastern Africa. These small proto-humans walked upright, but were still very ape-like. They had long arms with curved fingers, a large skull and brain, and a biped gait, Lucy. The most famous Australopithecus afarensis died around 3.2 million years ago. However, another species of Australopithecus, the robustus, would have lived until around 1.8 million years ago. So how did prehistoric humans survive all those years ago? Well, we know that they were still living in small groups, probably no larger than 30 individuals. Living in groups would have helped them survive, as there would have been more people to protect them from predators. It's believed that the earliest humans formed social groups based on family units, consisting of parents, children and siblings. These small groups would have moved from place to place, following the herds of animals and eating both plants and animals. Men would have hunted while women gathered food, making them both less dependent on each other. Australopithecines were not very sophisticated, but they did possess some intelligence. They likely used basic tools made of stone and knew how to make fire. Although this is heavily debated, if they did use fire, it's possible that they may have used it for cooking their food, keeping warm and scaring away predators. Humans today vary in their diets, but early humans were almost certainly omnivores. They would have eaten fruit, leaves, roots, insects, small reptiles and mammals. Hunting large animals would have been difficult, so early humans stuck to smaller prey. The development of the hand allowed our ancestors to grasp a spear or an axe and hurl it towards its target. The ability to hunt larger animals for food and the availability of new foods increased the brain size of early humans. In turn, this enabled them to develop more advanced cognitive abilities. Bigger brains also meant that the offspring required more time to mature. This resulted in an increase in the age of maturity and the lengthening of childhood. With larger brains came the need for more food, which led to the development of more sophisticated tools. The improved tools enabled early humans to cut meat, crack open nuts, and process more types of food in turn. This provided the nutrition needed for brain growth and development as humans developed. They began to live further away from their birthplace in Africa. They spread through Europe, Asia, and eventually the Americas. The oldest human fossils found outside of Africa are 2.3 million years old and come from the Haro region of Ethiopia, from here. They slowly migrated east across the Arabian Peninsula and into Asia. They probably followed a route along the coast of the Arabian Sea, going as far as India before turning back. Another group of early humans migrated north into Western Asia. From here, they spread into Europe, where they were replaced by Homo sapiens 40,000 years ago. So there you have it, in summary. Early humans lived in small family groups. They were omnivores. Eating both plants and animals, they used basic tools to hunt and gather food. Their diet consisted mainly of fruit, leaves, roots, insects, small reptiles, and mammals. Early humans were not very sophisticated, but they did possess some intelligence. They probably used basic tools made of stone and wood and knew how to make fire. Although this is heavily debated, it's incredible to think that humans have been around for millions of years. We've seen a lot of changes during that time, but we've also learned a lot. We've developed more advanced tools, learned how to farm and domesticated animals. We've also developed complex societies and created works of art and literature that have stood the test of time. As we move forward, we can only hope that we continue to learn and grow as a species. Did you find this video interesting? Let me know in the comments below. And remember to subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching.